What's going on, everybody? My name is SMITE. Welcome to another Less Than 60 for SMITE, where I outline 3 gods to you in 60 seconds each, and you guys vote on who you think is the best. Last week we finished up the range 80 carries, which include Shibalanke, Cupid, and Neith. And we had a great outcome, which means you guys are really getting into this. I'm really happy to see that. Just keep voting, and this will get more and more fun as we go. Shibalanke had 233 votes. Cupid had 104, and Neith had 444, a landslide victory for her. So at this point we have Anhur and Neith as victors of the range 80 carries, and now this week we're going to start the mages. So with episode 3, let's see whose AP can take them the crown. So first up we have Anubis, the god of the dead, and his passive grants him 30% reduction to crowd control and also allows him to steal physical and magical protection from his targets with each ability. For his 1 Plague of Locusts, Anubis breathes forward these annoying creatures and does damage every 0.5 seconds for 3 seconds. Keep in mind you can only rotate while using this ability, so make sure your enemies cannot get away easily or you are not on the pursuit. Now his 2 is called Mummify. It basically takes the form of a stun. Anubis throws forward bandages, wrapping his target up, hindering their ability to move. It's great followed up by his 3, which I'll explain next, or a 1 if you can get it off in time, and it's excellent for initiating battles and separating enemies from each other. His 3 Grasping Hands is an AoE attack that slows his targets 25% and does damage every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds. It is an excellent harass early game. I personally max it first, and it is great for cutting off routes completely to enemies, forcing them to walk through it or die, sometimes even both. His ultimate is called Death Gaze. He focuses all his energy into one stream. It's a line attack, and much like his 1, you can only rotate while using this ability. It's really important to make sure gods cannot run out of range, and it's excellent when used with other gods with really good crowd control, because then it just becomes a matter of shooting fish in a barrel. Next up we have Ao Kuang, Dragon King of the Eastern Seas, and his passive buffs his magical power by 5% of his maximum mana. His 1 is called Squall. It's a line projectile and damages the first target it comes in contact with, and it also slows everyone in the area by 25%, and this slow lasts for 3 seconds. It's perfect for damaging enemies that are already being affected by his upcoming 3, or firing into a group of gods for maximum effect. His 2 is a 4-second self-speed buff called Slither, which also grants him immunity to slows for a second, which doesn't sound like a lot, but often it is enough to save your life. Slither's also awesome for moving between lanes as fast as possible and getting out of situations that are quite terrible. Now his 3 Tornadoes, other than his ult, is his most effective move. It's a 5-second area of effect, and anyone who goes into it is followed by a smaller tornado, and its lifetime is refreshed by anyone who goes into its radius. Max it first and use it often. For his ult Spirit's Tempest, Ao Kuang summons a fallen ally, and it's a huge dragon that comes down from the sky and attacks in a line. Anyone within this line is damaged and knocked back. It's hugely effective in teamfights, especially those in the jungle. Just make sure your teammates know of this knockback. You don't want to screw up anyone else's ult or help someone get away. Last god of episode 3 is Zeus, god of the sky, and his passive is that his basic attack applies a charge to enemies that stacks up to 3. You'll see how this is used later. His 1 Chain Lightning is a projectile that applies charges to everyone it hits. The more you level it up, the more people it affects. It's most effectively used late game because you can throw the charge into a group of people in a team fight, for example, and depending on how much you've leveled it up, apply a charge to the entire team, then causing huge amounts of damage with this 3, which we'll get to. But before that, we have his 2 Aegis Shield, which is a self buff affecting movement speed, protections, and also makes him immune to slows. What's really cool though is when enemies basic attack you with the shield up, 10% of that damage is reflected back at them, and they have a charge applied to them. Now his 3 makes all of these charges make sense. He detonates all of the ones that have been accumulated on enemies, doing more damage depending on how many charges are on them. It pops instantly, but keep in mind if nobody has charges on them, it does absolutely nothing. Moving on to Zeus's ult, we have Lightning Storm, which is an area of effect, and it strikes enemies with lightning every second for 5 seconds, and it applies a charge when it does. Like Anubis' ult, it is great when used in combination with crowd control ults. And my friends, that is Zeus, the god of the sky. And that concludes episode 3 of SMITE Spotlights. My name is SMITE. Who do you think was the best god of this episode? Anubis, Ao Kuang, or Zeus? Please vote in the comments so we can have a winner that will be revealed next week. Have an awesome day, everybody. Peace out.